I'm David Sutter from Wyopreps.com, and one of our athletes of the week this week, presented by Premier Bone and Joint Centers, we're worthy of Wyoming, is Elyn Bowers, the senior from Pinedale, who last week became the fifth player in state history in girls basketball to pass 2,000 career points. First of all, congratulations. Has it sunk in? Do you feel like you've scored 2,000 in your high school career?
Um, yeah, a little bit, just because, you know,
What does that accomplishment mean to you?
um, well, it means that, all the hard work and everything, it's paid off, all the time in the gym, getting shots up, it's working. So,
For you, was that a goal coming into the season? I mean, you were already well over 1,500 going into, coming into this senior season. So was that a goal to begin with?
yeah, it was a goal. I knew I could do it because I was at like 1,500 something and I scored over 600 last year. So I knew it was definitely something I could achieve.
Obviously, that achievement doesn't happen just by yourself. You've got four other teammates out there, and,
Yeah.
and there's been different teammates throughout your 4 years. What has that group meant to you personally?
Yeah, this current group is definitely something special. We're really close. We've played with each other for quite a while throughout, like growing up, we had a travel team and we're all playing together. So now just, your last year, senior year, and a couple of them are juniors. It's just really special.
Obviously, you guys, I think, maybe dealing with a little different pressure this year. For you, you've been a scorer since you came in. You kind of got to play the Robin role your freshman year to Roxanne Rogers, who was a great scorer in her own right. How has things changed from sophomore to junior to senior year for you, knowing that you're really at the top of everybody's scouting report?
Yeah, going into sophomore year, we lost our leading scorer, so someone needed to step up. I knew I wasn't scared of the role. I took the opportunity. And then just going into last year, I felt more comfortable than I did even like my sophomore year. And then I kind of just took charge. And then it's kind of like the same thing going into my senior year.
Yeah. How do you deal with that, knowing that teams want to throw two, maybe three defenders at you? How do you feel like you've dealt with it?
I feel like I deal with it pretty well. It's kind of fun, when people are face guarding you tight, you got like two or three girls on you. It just rises to the occasion.
Yeah. Has your coach, which happens to be your dad, has he tried to scheme some things a little differently to get you open a little more?
Yeah, especially like if I'm being face guarded, we have a couple different plays just to make sure the ball stays like because if you're getting face guarded, you don't just want to like take them out of like the equation, or else the other team wins. So you gotta set screens and keep playing.
Reflect on last week. It was a big week you had. You ended up a busy one because you ended up playing three games because of that postponed game from earlier that ended up being made up on Tuesday. How do you think you and the team played last week, going 3-0?
I think we played really well, especially against Lyman. We had a really good game. Great ball movement. I think that was one of our games where we really came together as a team, and that's how we should be. We should be looking like every single game. That's the type of like competitiveness and energy like that we can bring every game.
Okay. Now it's not just been scoring for you this year. You're leading 3A in assists. What's that all about?
Oh my God, I got good teammates.
Finding the right teammate at the right time with
hmm
the right pass,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
How does that kind of work itself out? I mean, obviously, as we talked about, teams are face guarding you, sending two and three players at you sometimes. How have you improved that part of your game to find your open teammate and realize, kind of from a basketball IQ standpoint, and then what angles players are coming at you so you can make the right pass at the right time?
Well, just kind of like recognizing, if someone comes to me, all right, where did they leave from? Just like a heads up play. And it's been kind of like a goal of ours this year to see like how many assists we can get in a game. There'll be instances we have two open girls running down the court, and right before they shoot a layup, they'll pass it just to get the assist. And it's just fun stuff like that.
All right, we'll bring it full
Yeah.
circle back to the 2000. You got it on a three. Were you happy that you
Hmm.
got it on a three on the at the top of the key there?
I was pretty happy. Yeah. I knew it was going in right when I shot it. I wasn't really keeping track of like how many points, but as soon as everyone started going crazy, and I was like, that must have been it.
Well, I mean, obviously, you could have had it on a layup or just a common
Hmm.
jumper or maybe even a free throw, but to get it on a three, which I know you take great pride in. I think that's pretty cool. And
Yeah,
then I know it happened on the road. Is that a little bittersweet instead of happening at home in front of all the fans?
a little bit, but it worked out. Lander recognized me, and so yeah.
Well, that's cool. Hey,
Mhm.
congratulations on being part of state history. Thanks for taking a few minutes and congrats on being one of
Mhm.
our athletes of the week again, Elyn.
Yeah, thank you.
David Settle back here at Wyopreps.com, continuing as we talk with one of our athletes of the week, presented by Premier Bone and Joint Centers of Wyoming. We're worthy of Wyoming. And one of our honorees this week, Elyse Kisner from Little Snake River, who helped the Rattlers go 2-0 last week with wins at North Park, Colorado. That's down in Walden, Colorado. And then they took on Saratoga and beat them. She averaged 26 and a half points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2.5 steals last week. Congrats on being one of our athletes of the week. Take me back to last week. How do you think you played on the basketball court, Elyse?
Thank you. Last week, North Park, I think we were pretty solid. We got it going pretty early. And then Saratoga, we started off kind of slow, but at the end, what came down to it was our hustle. And I think myself included, all of us, we hustled pretty well. And yeah.
So you go out and score 29 and 24 in the two games. What was working well for you offensively?
In North Park, my shot was just on, so that's good. And then for Saratoga, driving the ball, just taking it all the way to the basket was what was working.
Now, you mentioned a slow start against Saratoga. Was that just nerves from on senior night or anything with the team, or just you don't know what happened there? Just
I'm not really sure, but they switched up their defense on us from last time, and so it kind of took us a little bit to adjust. But once we got it figured out, we did pretty good.
how do you feel like this team's playing here? Mid to late February, getting ready for the postseason, Elise.
Yeah, I think for a little bit towards the beginning of the season, we had a little bit of a slump, but now we're starting to really connect and get together, and I think we're going to do great things at regionals and state.
What's kind of the key for your team, do you feel?
I think communication is a big part for our team. If we communicate well, then I think we play really well, and if we're having fun.
Yeah. What do you love in particular about the game of basketball?
Um, Basketball. I just love the way it makes me feel. Like when I'm running down the court, I get like super excited. Anything like that is good happens, like a small thing, it just gets me really excited, gets my adrenaline going.
Yeah, yeah. Now you guys face some tough competition in the 1A Southwest. How do you describe that conference in general and how you have to play to win games?
Um, our conference, we have some tough teams. They play really tough defense on us, and we have to work for our shots. We have to work for our points. They're not just given to us. We have to create open shots, and we really have to focus and play good fundamental basketball.
I gotcha. Little birdie told me you like to sing and you can sing pretty well. So what do you like to sing?
Um, I sing a lot. I mostly sing like country music, but I sing the national anthem at our games and stuff.
Oh yeah. Now
Yeah.
how long have you been doing that?
Just singing or the for the
No, the
sport?
national anthem.
I started singing the national anthem when I was in fifth grade, and
Okay.
then yeah, I've just sang it ever since. Whenever
Now
someone asks.
compare and contrast fifth grade nerves to nerves now. Lot easier to sing now versus fifth grade and everybody's looking at you, listening. What was
A
that?
whole lot.
How have you grown as a singer in that regard?
I get a lot less nervous. I still get nervous, but I think I'm more confident in my voice, and I know that like everyone's heard me sing already, so I don't really like if I mess up, like I'll be okay.
I got you. I got you. Now, half-heartedly joking here, you are one of our athletes of the week. Is it finally time that somebody from Rattler Nation got it besides Bridger Cousins? I mean, that guy just hogs all the spotlight, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I'm half-heartedly joking here. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
What is it like to play for LSRV?
It's awesome. It's so everyone's so supportive here, and it's like a big family basically. I mean, like that's kind of cliche, but it is.
Well, that's cool. Hey, well, congrats on a great week last week. Thank you for taking a few minutes and congratulations on being one of our athletes of the week.
Thank you.
I'm David Sutter. We continue our discussions this week for our Athlete of the Week feature presented by Premier Bone and Joint Centers. We're worthy of Wyoming. And one of our honorees this week, Kyle Smith from Hulett, to led the Red Devils to a 2-0 week last week. 28 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals in 2 wins in conference action to help the Red Devils really wrap up second place, getting ready for the postseason. And Kyle joins me. Kyle, first, congrats on being one of our athletes of the week this week. And I know just a couple weeks ago you passed 1,000 career points. Congratulations on that as well. But take me back to last week's games. A couple of big conference games you guys kind of needed to kind of wrap things up there in that number 2 spot. How did you feel? You played and the team played last week.
Yeah, the games were very tough. Of course, we played Friday night against Claremont. That game was kind of well-rounded. We got the dub there. And then going to Midwest, we kind of went into their place. We beat them by 20 the first time we played them. And then going into Midwest, you know what, they always play great at home. So they came out and kind of hit us in the mouth, and we were down by 20 going into halftime, and we just kind of talked it through during halftime and kind of just locked in for the second half and got the job done.
A big comeback win there for you guys. For you, what has been working so well for you recently? I mean, your numbers have started to take off, particularly kind of after the first of the year. What do you feel like you've done to really up your game, so to speak?
I think coming into the year, we were just kind of trying to feel out how teams would defend me as a player and kind of putting in new offenses and figuring out what works best off ball and with the ball. Just kind of figure out the best ways to get me to the rack and get other people open.
Obviously, you have started since day one. You're just a junior right now. So for you, talk a little bit about just what it's been like and where you really focused on trying to improve your game year over year for you individually.
As a freshman coming into the year, I kind of was expected to kind of lead the team, and I kind of just stuck to the 3-point line and just hooked up threes. In the last 2 years, I've kind of focused on kind of getting to the rack instead of just settling for the 3 ball every time.
Talk a little bit about, you're a fantastic all-around student athlete, and Hulett's up there in the northeast corner. Sometimes I think some of you guys are hidden gems around the state that we don't always see. But for you, how much pride do you take in playing for a small high school like Hulett and being able to kind of showcase your abilities on a bigger stage?
Going around everywhere, we're kind of known as the underdog, no matter the team we play. I mean, we got the Claremonts, the Midwest, they're about the size of us, but every other school we play, we're always the underdog. So going into every game my freshman and sophomore year, no one really knew who I was or who our team was. So now going into my junior year, most people in Wyoming kind of understand our team and what we're trying to do. And yeah, it's definitely an underdog kind of feeling.
Describe your supporting cast. What do you got to work with this year on the Red Devils crew, especially as you guys are rounded into trying to play your best at postseason time here?
Yeah, we're a pretty young team this year. We got big numbers, 16 players. Last year we only had 9. So it's practice is great, being able to scrimmage. I got 2 juniors beside me, Ben and Hudson. They do a pretty good job doing their roles. Hudson rebounds the ball and Ben makes open shots, and that's what we need out of him.
Is that where a lot of your Cisco is to Ben?
Yeah, to Ben. Most of it goes to Ben.
Well, talk a little bit about what are a couple things that you feel like the team still needs to fine tune here as you wrap up the regular season and get ready for regionals next week.
We're looking at Southeast first round next week, and they're pretty big, and that's one thing we struggle with is rebounding. So we really need to focus on grabbing the boards. That's the one thing we've struggled with most of the year. We've struggled with that my whole high school career, so kind of focus on grabbing boards.
And what do you love about the game of basketball, Kyle? I mentioned you're an all-around guy, but you're putting up some great numbers and have for the last couple of seasons. But what do you love about the game of basketball for you?
I think it's just a great way to get away from life in general. Go to the gym, get some shots up. I've made all my friends through the sport, play all year round. It's just a great atmosphere on the floor.
And then, as I kind of referenced earlier, congrats on 1,000 points. What did that mean to you? I know it was a tough loss. Upton's a really good team, but and you did it on the road. I know you probably would have liked to have done it at home, but what does that mean to you to get to 1,000, that milestone?
To be honest with you, going into the game, I kind of didn't want to focus on the 1,000 points. I know most people probably saw the picture on me at Wyopreps. I wasn't very happy after the game. I mean, it's definitely a big thing. I love that I got it, but I'd like to just focus on basketball and the team. Don't really
Certainly
need to
understand.
worry about that.
Certainly understand that. Sorry about the, didn't mean to cut you off there. Well, Kyle, hey, congrats on a great week last week. Congrats on being our athlete of the week, and thank you for taking a few minutes to chat.
No problem.